Hello everyone, my name is Michelle Sanchez, also known as EVILxHEMI on Xbox Live. Welcome to my channel where I bring you commentary, tips, and tricks for Black Ops 2 from a woman's perspective, and I hope you enjoy the show. So today I'm on the map called Slums playing what I play best, Core Team Deathmatch, and I'm in here with my friend Tromman7, and I want to get my snipe on and try to level up one of my other gamer tags, because this past weekend was Double XP weekend in celebration of the new map pack Vengeance that released on July 2nd, and I thought I'd take advantage of those extra XPs since I've mastered Prestige on my primary account. Anyway, when I meet someone on Xbox Live, I always like to ask them why they chose the gamer tag they did when they created it on Xbox Live, and so I'm going to tell you a little story today about how I got my gamer tags. My gamer tags originated from one of my favorite movies of all time, and that would be Joe Dirt. And this movie came out in 2001, and it featured David Spade as the actor who played Joe Dirt, and it also had Christopher Walken in it too, and he's another one of my favorite actors. So it's a story about a young man who got separated from his parents and his sister at the Grand Canyon when he was about 10, and this movie depicts his crazy journey as he searches to find his long-lost family. So he's working odd jobs here and there, and he's trying to earn enough money to sustain him in his search, and he happens upon a small town where he lands a job working for a dentist office, and so he wears a billboard shaped like a molar, and he hands out flyers to prospective customers. So one day he's passing out flyers and he sees this car, and he's like, "What's up? Oh my God, Competition Orange 67. This thing's a Hemi." And that's where I got my gamer tags from, from that comment he made about that car in the movie. And I love me some Hemis, I'm going to tell you what, right? Even that ratty old 69 Dodge Daytona with a giant wing on the back, if someone offered that to me, I wouldn't turn it down. So anyway, an older lady steps up to the car and she's got a for sale sign and she tries to sell it to him. Now, this isn't any car. This is a gorgeous 1967 Plymouth Belvedere two-door convertible Hemi. And it's painted in what Plymouth called Competition Orange back in the day. And the car is outfitted with Krager mags and also sports a black drop top. And so for you folks out there who've never heard of Plymouth, this was a brand of automobile that belonged to a company called Mopar. And they're the ones who design and build Chryslers and Dodges and Jeeps, and back then Plymouths and AMC, kind of like how General Motors or GM builds Chevys and Buicks and GMCs and Cadillacs and stuff. And so he's asking her if she's selling the car, and how much does she want for it. And the reason she's selling it is because she doesn't want it anymore. Her husband died, and Joe Dirt begins to tell her how sorry he was to hear that. And then she says, as cool as a cucumber, right? "Nah, I killed him. He used to beat me, and so one night I just pushed him into the wood chipper, and I told the cops he fell." So anyway, he tells her he's sorry he can't buy her beautiful Hemi because he needs to use all his money to find his parents, and all she says she wants for it is for whatever money he has in his pocket right now, which he says is practically nothing. So she sells it to him, but circumstances, cause him to lose it. So you got to watch the rest of the movie to find out what happens. But anyway, I saw a Hemi like that up for sale one time, and it was on Meekum's auto auction on the Velocity channel, and those Hemis are really rare. And this one was going for over $300,000, and do you know somebody actually bought the car for that price? And why can't somebody offer me a car like that for what little is in my pocket, right? Lord knows there's very little in my pocket on a day-to-day basis. So anyway, me and my family, we're pretty huge fans of muscle cars and older hot rods from the 50s and 60s and 70s, all the classics and car shows and stuff. And my dad actually had a 67 two-door Belvedere hardtop. But I'll tell you right now, his didn't have a Hemi in it. And he got it in the late 70s too, because, even though it wasn't a new car and my family couldn't afford a new car back then by any means, it was still really clean, and I wish he still had it, and I'm sure he does too. But when you're a kid or a young person, you want a new car. You don't want someone else's old heap, right? And if we only knew then what we know now, I'm going to give you young folks a word of advice. Hold on to your old cars and take really good care of them, because they could be worth a fortune, someday. So last year I finally came into my own with a brand new Hemi Challenger RT, a 2012, and it's complete with a genuine Hemi power plant, and she is fast, and she is throaty, and she is evil. So I renamed my gamer tag from "This Thing's a Hemi" to "EVILxHEMI," because that's exactly what my car is. I named her Delilah, like the evil woman in the Bible who got Samson to drink wine when he wasn't supposed to, but he did it anyway, and he passed out, and she cut his hair and made him lose all his strength. But my Delilah's a beauty. She was She's a drop-dead, gorgeous, knockout, sweet car that makes me do things that I shouldn't, like take her on the back roads and get her up to 110 miles an hour, which she did, and she tries to get me to do it all the time. She tries to get me to speed and do power slides and burnouts and commit all sorts of other sinful behavior. She's truly a wicked temptation. Anyway, back to Call of Duty. This gamer tag is my experimentational account where I try new things, new weapon combos and game types and stuff, so I don't have to wreck the KD on my main gamer tag. And sometimes when I just want to be incognito, I'll switch to this gamer tag too, because the friend list is very small, and you've got to be in my inner circle to be on it. So me and Trom, man, we're working hard on this match, harder than anyone else on our team, all these randoms, and we start out behind, but we steadily built a small lead for the team we're on, and we're trying to maintain it. And I'm having a tough time of it too, because I haven't played on this account in a really long time, and I hadn't progressed very far, and I was hurting for all my, my all-time favorite go-to stuff, and it was really frustrating not having all 10 of my classes unlocked and the usual stuff that I'm accustomed to having, and I just had to step it up and work harder to try to get the job done. And I also tried to snipe as much as I could in this game in this past weekend, but I swear most of the matches that I was in over the weekend were just not conducive to sniping. I couldn't get settled in, and I couldn't establish the rhythm I needed to be the filthy little sniper that I can be. The games were just too fast paced, so I had to revert back to my go-to guns, or at least I tried to, right? With what little bit of go-to guns I had unlocked. And this account was a Prestige 1, level 44, and it had barely anything on it, and barely any classes. And I really only used 3 kinds of guns back in the day, on Black Ops 2, like the MP7 and the M8A1 and the Vector K10. I didn't know how to shotgun or how to use a sniper rifle back in those days, and I kind of just stuck with what worked. So anyway, words can't express how much you long for what you don't have when you want it or need it. For example, my beloved AN94 and Bouncing Betties. Those are must-haves for me. And it was a stroke of good fortune that I happened to have an unspent token from my first Prestige on this account. And I guess I didn't know what I wanted to spend it on back then, but this time I didn't hesitate. I knew exactly what I wanted, and I immediately unlocked the AN94 after I'd come to the realization that I had a spare token laying around. So later on that weekend, I prestiged the gamer tag one more time, and I got my Bouncing Betties back too. So I'm in pretty decent shape so far. So anyway, how many of you have your go-to guns? Ones that you use when all else fails. Feel free to leave your comment in the box below, because I'd be interested to see what your favorite guns are and what your favorite loadout items are for the classes you run. And here's another thing too. Sometimes, when I'm hurting for a gun because I don't have it unlocked yet, and I pick up someone else's gun off the ground and I discover that it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, I run around with it like a superhero and whack everyone on the map until every single bullet is gone, and then later on I make an identical class with that same gun and those same attachments, only to find out that the gun doesn't work as well as it did in the game where I randomly picked it up. Am I the only person this happens to? Because I'd be interested in to know that. So please, again, leave a comment in the box below. So anyway, I was thinking about this, final thought. Me and Joe Dirt, we're pretty lucky. He got his Hemi, I got my Hemi, he got his new family, and I got my AN94 back. And all I can say to that is, dang. Anyway, that's the end of my story. I hope you enjoyed it, and may we all live happily ever after. So thank you for stopping by my channel. Your time is valuable, and it means a lot that you spend a little bit of your time, on me watching my game film. Take care, and I'll see you on the battlefield. Hemi out.